Quick one, nothing here is financial advice. It's for entertainment and educational purposes only. Always do your own research or speak to a financial advisor before making any investment decisions. Enjoy the episode and like and subscribe.
GM and welcome back. In this one, we're breaking down Mode Network and we're going to find out exactly how they plan to scale DeFi to billions of users through on-chain agents and AI-powered financial applications. So first and foremost, what is Mode? It's an Ethereum L2. It's built using the OP stack and thus falls under the Optimism superchain ecosystem. So this chain is at the intersection of DeFi and AI, DefAI or DeFi AI, whatever you want to call it, that's where it sits. So Mode is the go-to chain within this narrative on the Optimism stack, but the overall aim would be to become the de facto DeFi AI chain more broadly. How will it go about doing this? While attracting the best builders in the space, leveraging its innovative tokenomics, its support for builders, and its exposure that it can offer via its agent app store. So let's dive in and find out more about Mode Network. So Mode has a bit of a problem to solve here. I'm sure, as the meme suggests, a lot of people have heard of DeFi but don't really know what it is or how it can actually benefit them. So what we've seen more broadly is DeFi is just better than TradFi. If you want instant accessibility to your funds, if you want that speed of movement of funds, and even more importantly, sovereignty of your funds, DeFi is the place that actually offers that. So you have 24/7 access, borderless transactions, inexpensive transactions depending on the network. And of course, you go to, say, an Aave, they're open on bank holidays, no days off, no credit checks either. But the issue is, of course, it is difficult to navigate for many people. As we saw last cycle, billions were lost to this C-DeFi kind of intersection. And Celsius, I think, amassed 25 billion in TVL at Pico Top, which is pretty incredible, which suggests to you that consumers have an appetite for DeFi yields, but they lack the understanding of how to use them and, of course, some of the implications behind using centralized entities. So what happens if we add the bleeding edge of technology via AI with DeFi? Well, I think we've got this potential match made in heaven. So the solution we need to work towards now is how do we get these DeFi yields neatly packaged, utilizing AI for monitoring, dynamically adjusting and automating tasks for you and getting those into the hands of billions of users. So just think about Grandma. She's not going to be pulling a night shift anytime soon to ensure that her LP remains in range and collects those fees. So this is where we are, this intersection of DeFi and AI. And I think this is a huge market opportunity. And I'm pretty sure the guys over at Mode agree. So this is where they're building the intersection between DeFi and AI. And just to rewind a little bit, so this infographic you can see on screen actually is from September 2024 on their Mirror, where they actually coined the phrase AI-fi. So they were actually building in the intersection of DeFi and AI before the popularized term DefAI came around in January of 2025. So they were visionaries and were thinking about this very early on indeed. So kudos for that. So what are some of the benefits of this intersection of DeFi and AI? Well, what you get is the execution of automated transactions without any centralized intermediaries. That is one of the biggest plus points for DeFi more broadly. Of course, it's you controlling your own funds without a third party, but you can add in automation with AI agents on top. And these agents, they can get smarter over time and iterate as they have historical market data to go back upon and improve upon. Agents can also perform position management, so dynamically adjusting your position, maybe scaling back the leverage if price is moving against you, as an example, or LP, moving your liquidity within range whilst mitigating impermanent loss. And of course, an agent can work 24/7, so this can work without taking any breaks. There's obvious pros around the fact that audit trails are maintained because everything's on chain. There's a proof of every single transaction that occurs on-chain is better than having things done off-chain. So DeFi and AI agents build at this intersection. And just to give you a couple of examples of what's currently being built on Mode, you have things like yield optimizers, which is probably something most people want to get involved with. And also they have things like blockchain security agents, which are trying to safeguard DeFi ecosystem funds, which is pretty damn cool. So what Mode does rather well is actually simplifies the user journey on its layer 2, the Mode network. It does that through a very clean interface. We'll go through the AI agent app store in just a moment, their terminal and their dashboard of DeFi apps. They've got some really good partners, the likes of Velodrome are over on Mode, and Mode actually offers incentives to dApps within their L2. And these incentives are obviously a driver of growing the pie on this network, which is pretty damn cool. We'll jump into the tokenomics in a bit. Then at the kind of data layer, they have a Bittensor subnet. This could become potentially a moat, in my opinion. It's called the Synth subnet, and it's subnet number 50. And this provides high quality data to agents on Mode network. So this is a key one we'll actually focus on in just a moment. And then the execution environment, of course, the L2 itself. It has an AI secured sequencer via their partner Forta, using AI to detect anomalies and prevent harmful transactions. I think that is really, really cool. And they have over 70 protocols launched, thousands of agents on top. Then in terms of attracting builders at the intersection of DeFi and AI, they can also offer support via marketing through the agent app store, liquidity, even testing, and a huge user base as they have hundreds of thousands of users who have interacted with Mode previously. So they do seem well set up within this infrastructure to attract talented builders to the network. So this isn't a generalized L2, but it has been specialized, purpose-built for DeFi and AI. So here is the Mode dashboard. And if you just look across the top there, the main dashboard does what it says on the tin, simplifies the user journey. You can easily see what dApps are live on Mode's network straight out the gates. Oftentimes you'll go to an L2 and be like, what's actually on here? Can't find your way around. They've got the navigation sussed, which I think makes this very great for usability. You can see across the top there, dashboard, governance. Governance plays a key role within this ecosystem. You've got the AI agent tab for the agent app store. The terminal you can access as well to ask questions in natural language, and also a bridge to get on and off of Mode L2. You'll probably notice on there as well, you can see check for rewards. They do provide incentives to dApps and users via their innovative veTokenomics, which we'll explain. But this TLDR essentially allows rewards in OP, as they have a large OP grant, to flow between the dApps and then from the dApps into the users via stimulating on-chain usage. Maybe via this kind of flow of a user would vote with their staked VE mode for, say, Sturdy protocol on there. Sturdy gets some OP incentives, and then they would incentivize maybe lending of a certain asset. And so users can go and do that and then receive some of those incentives trickle down as a nice little flywheel there. The likes of your balancers, velodromes, and you probably heard of Beefy as well. They've all deployed 2 modes, and this seems to be quite an attractive network for a lot of DeFi apps right now. And of course, those DeFi apps are going to be used not just by users, but by the agents who are building on top of Mode. So tapping into these various protocols. So on Mode, the user base is not only human user, but also a ton of AI agent users as well. So here we have the AI agent app store. Does what it says on the tin. It is a place where you can discover which agents are live on Mode network. And as you can see on screen here, a lot of assets under these agents. So TVL wise, in terms of people have deployed funds into these agents, are using them. Many agents are live, working on a daily basis for people, 24/7, 365, and many transactions being complete. And this agent app store has a nice little widget where you can just scroll across and see what each of these various agent platforms do, and you can one-click get into those interfaces and start using them straight away. So essentially, this is a nice home screen for users to come and play with various agents, see what products they like, and just simply navigate the Mode ecosystem. Again, we don't often see this on many layer 2 chains where you can easily navigate the various ecosystem of apps. So I think they really are nailing it in terms of UI UX. They also have the Mode terminal. As you would guess, this is a DeFi terminal where you can interact with the AI to perform certain tasks. People are definitely getting on board with utilizing the likes of maybe a Perplexity. I think Grok is getting very popular here. People are used to using terminals at this moment in time. And so with the Mode terminal, what you can do is simplify your DeFi transactions. And say you want to do maybe a swap or a borrow, you can come in here and use natural language, type in what you require, and the terminal will allow you to confirm, if correct, that you want to pursue said transaction. So on screen here, swap $100 in ETH into USDC, and then it comes through once confirmed. So you would click the button confirm, and then it will let you know the swap has been complete, and you can view the transaction on the blockchain if you so wish as well. So essentially, this is making DeFi easier for normal people to come and utilize it without having to navigate to specific applications. They can do a lot of things through this Mode terminal. So we'll await for the wider access, but as I mentioned, this is currently token gated and in early access mode right about now as we film. In terms of that data layer we talked about, so the data solution offered by Mode here is Synth Subnet 50, and you're probably wondering what are those squiggly lines on screen there. Well, let's just break it down. So agents require forecasting of data to accurately perform tasks. So say you want to do some liquidity provision and get your agent to do that, it needs to be able to set tight price ranges and dynamically adjust them, because if you're within range, of course, you're getting more fees. So you want to be able to follow the range about. And this requires accurate predictions to be made. So the Synth Subnet 50 on Bittensor, I think key reason why they're using Bittensor here is it's an open platform. It has incentives and a huge talent pool of miners. So basically what it does is asks the models to generate 100 simulated price paths each and every 5 minutes for BTC. So predicting Bitcoin's price movements in the next 5 minutes. On screen are the various paths. So that would just be one miner. Obviously, you scale that up. You've got 10 miners doing it. You've then got 1,000 simulated price paths. And what you can do with this is build out volatility predictions. This then helps AI models forecast Bitcoin's likely price movements. So you could then potentially ask a model, what's the probability Bitcoin trades below X in the next 24 hours? And the subnet would give you an answer for this. So essentially, it's future price distribution forecasts you're getting here. And the major benefit is that with these robust data sets, Mode can then attract AI agent builders who will want to utilize this and deploy onto Mode network. So this could become potentially a moat, M-O-A-T, I'm saying there, as the models are likely to only be as good as the data they're able to harness. So what they're doing here is democratizing access to synthetic financial models, which is obviously great. It's in the open source ethos, and I believe they're currently incentivizing to the tune of $20,000 per day to miners currently to really kickstart this flywheel here. And one of the key areas that could be cracked with this is on-chain options. I think that's a huge market opportunity, and this volatility data could be utilized for structuring these products correctly. So the potential here is, of course, Synth becoming a foundational layer of this agentic economy, starting with its robust data for Bitcoin, but expanding out into other areas. Maybe it'll be weather, traffic, sports, commodities, could be a wide range of things and use cases that come from this. So very interesting to see how this develops with Synth. Now let's put a quick spotlight on some of the teams building on top of Mode. So we've got 3 here just to go through as a bit of a spotlight. What does it do? Why is it potentially useful? So we'll start off at the top. ARMA by the Giza team here allows for stablecoin yield to be managed. Currently around 800 to 1,000 agents are managing USDC and USDT positions. So here is the website interface. And as you can see from this, on Mode Network, what it can do is actually move your stables across to the best performing stable yields right about now. So maybe that'll be on Fluids, Compound, Moonwell, whatever it is. The agent here can move your funds to farm the best rewards for you. And I'm sure a lot of people do stablecoin farming, but rather than do it yourself and continually monitor, ARMA by Giza can do this. And a bit of alpha here is that there's potentially going to be a Giza token that comes. And so it may be worth connecting your wallet, getting involved, and utilizing this before that happens, as there could be potentially an airdrop. Then we have MODIUS, which is from the team at Autonomous, or OLAS for short. And this is a trading agent and portfolio manager. So as you can see, it's connected to Mode. Assets mentioned here, USDC and ETH. Supported protocols, Balancer and Sturdy. You would give it your assets and it will potentially trade your assets using strategies and algorithms to give you returns. And the Autonomous team have shipped quite a few integrations recently with Mode. So there's definitely a key partner in them. So if you're looking for a personal AI portfolio manager, this could be the one for you. Then we have AMPLIFI, which is trying to crack yield-bearing Bitcoin strategies. So the TLDR on this one, the app is actually coming soon. It's not yet live. Very interested to see what this looks like when it comes out. The UI you can see from the website here looks very slick indeed. And I think yield-bearing Bitcoin strategies opens up that Bitcoin liquidity to DeFi AI. So one of the biggest, obviously, total addressable markets, that Bitcoin liquidity. Very juicy indeed. And if they're able to package this nicely, as you can see here, the UI would look pretty damn sleek. A nice click and go app for this spits out, what's your estimated 30-day yields, confirm deposit, all within a few clicks. I think they could be onto something with this one. So definitely going to keep a keen eye on AMPLIFI once that one goes live. As I mentioned earlier, discoverability on the AI Agent App Store, pretty damn sleek. Just toggle your way through this neat slider and see exactly what is on offer within Mode and its AI ecosystem. So just a quick slide on James, the founder, at JRossTreacher on Twitter, if you want to give him a follow. So James's background, entrepreneur, previously built a fintech startup, which was an automated savings app. So you can kind of see the puzzle pieces fitting together with what we're doing now with AI and DeFi. He was formerly the managing director, I think last cycle, of Hype, which is a blockchain marketing agency, worked with many of the top 100 protocols for marketing, growth, designing hackathons and more. So he has certainly been in the trenches, was very early to DeFi and DeFi apps back in DeFi summer. So he's been around the block, understands the industry, and is now building out Mode L2. And also I'd say a major key highlight here is he understands how to scale and collaboratively work with others to grow the pie. As you'll see with Mode, a lot of key partners. If you go onto their Twitter feeds, continually expanding the number of apps integrated with themselves. Also to highlight, on the spot with Modes over on our Twitter, we'll leave a link to it down below as well. A quick 5-minute, easily digestible piece of content where the founder goes through all the key talking points of Mode Network. So for bite-sized content, check out that on the spot. We'll leave it down below in the description. So let's go into the veTokenomics. So VE, vote escrow model, has been popularized within crypto in the DeFi landscape. What does it mean? Well, vote escrow requires you to stake your tokens, and this sometimes is for a prolonged period, but not with Modes. So you can actually unstake your tokens and get them back within 3 to 6 days in the cool-off period, which is pretty damn cool. But the longer you do stake, the greater your voting power becomes. So their tokenomics design is around staking tokens and then using your voting power to direct OP incentives to dApps. So what you do, you would either have some Mode tokens directly or via Balancer, BPT token. So this is an LP combining 80% Modes to 20% of wrapped ETH, obviously adding to the LP of this token on chain. So you would stake either Mode or that BPT token. And then you would obviously put in, if you want to stake the maximum amount in your wallets, stake it. And then you can see over time, the longer you remain staked, up to 10 weeks, you get the maximum voting power, which is a 6x. You are then able to vote where the OP incentives from their grant go. I believe they have up to like 2 million OP rewards to dish out. So every 2 weeks, you'd come and vote for your favorite protocol. And that protocol must use those OP to foster on-chain growth. So a real nice flywheel within there. The current rewards for a staker are around 22% APY, So some of the OP do go back directly to stakers, and that's a pretty damn healthy number if you do ask me. So with VE Mode, you are helping to govern the network. They have a detailed forum, which you may want to navigate to get involved with discussions. And then obviously directing ecosystem rewards, you can vote for your favorite protocol, and maybe they'll give you something back. More on that in just a second. But depending on how many tokens you stake, they have the agent mode memberships. So these memberships require you to stake either 20,000 tokens for a giga tier, 400,000 tokens for the super tier, or 1 million plus for the Terra tier. And you get access to a gated Telegram community and access to the actual core contributors of this protocol. And obviously the more you stake, your actual access levels will scale with that. Then depending on your agent membership tier, you can also earn between 1 to 5% of the token supply from new AI projects on Mode. So a new agent comes out, there's going to be an airdrop of tokens of that agent, and you could be the beneficiary of that. So think what's happened with some of the virtual stuff earlier in this year and late in 2024. Membership also gets you initial agent offerings, so access to early stage fundraisers, and you can also get beta access to new features and test things out before they launch on Mode mainnet. So to the top right hand corner, just above my head, there's been 3 seasons for Mode and Mode governance, and the previous season saw a 5.5% airdrop of total token supply in season 1, 5% in season 2, accounting for 10.5% in total. And you can also see additional rewards in OP from the grant, which have come to users and teams as we've gone through the seasons. Season 3 ended mid-January, but now, of course, we're on season 4. And the main highlights and facelift here is the fact that VE Mode holders now have access to bribes. So you can get paid in OP tokens for voting, but also bribes from ecosystem dApps. What does this mean? What is a bribe? Well, a bribe is, in essence, an emission of tokens from a dApp to incentivize you to vote for them. So say it's BMX, as you can see from the top line on here. In this last epoch, they were giving out $1,200 in rewards in their own token to voters. So, of course, if you're thinking in terms of maximum value you can get from this, you would vote for BMX. You vote for them, they get more OP. You also get some OP and that BMX token for voting for them. Seems like a bit of a win-win. And so I think the games here are going to really scale up over the coming weeks and months as more people get involved with this. And they've integrated with the guys at Redacted via Hidden Hand, which is just a great product in terms of bribes and distributions. So if you've used this before, you'll know how it works, but essentially you can come in here, set your votes on Hidden Hand, and this allows you to claim your rewards very streamlined in one neat interface. And it offers transparency over process for everyone involved as well. So no lurking on the forums, everything in one neat interface just makes it a lot easier. Another cool upgrade alongside this was that they now allow for agentic staking and voting as well. So AI agents, if they have access to VE Mode, can actually vote as well. So really becoming part of the on-chain economy here, which is pretty crazy. And they had this recent hackathon, and this GOAT SDK, which stands for the Great On-Chain Agentic Toolkit, was kind of launched through this hackathon. I believe this was in collaboration with AI16Z. And not only does it allow for the deployment of governance agents on Mode, but with the ELIZA OS, dApp builders on Mode can use ELIZA OS and integrate things such as Twitter integrations for their agents, trading integrations for their agents, and a whole host more. So a load of this open source tech getting embedded into Mode with a recent upgrade here, which is pretty damn cool. If you're thinking about where to buy the token, if you're on a SEX, Bybit has some good liquidity. On a DEX, if you're on Base, maybe Aerodrome, but on Mode network itself, Velodrome and Balancer is where I would direct you. So just a quick one on the roadmap forwards here as I see it, having dived through a load of documentation and podcasts. So things they've got coming up: AI Vault, so an AI-powered treasury manager. So essentially this could enable individuals to park funds and have them managed by an AI, or potentially organizational fund management as well. So maybe people will park a portion of their treasuries in here also. They've also mentioned a mobile app coming. So DefAI ecosystem coming to iOS potentially. I think they've got some testing ongoing, which I picked up in a podcast, which will obviously help grow the pie and grow the user base. I think once these applications are battle tested and hardened, getting them into simple mobile interfaces will be the real unlock for many different users, as we saw with the likes of Celsius last cycle out, but this time with decentralization and through AI agents. Then they also have a mode accelerator. So last year, I believe it was in Q4, they had like 9 projects selected here. They got them connected with investments, connecting them with the core team, and really trying to grow them out. So this will be a booster to the mode ecosystem with these kind of incubated or accelerated projects, which I think we'll see come into fruition in 2025. So there's a lot of stuff being built out here, which is going to come to the fore for mode in the not too distant future. And also Optimism does have an upgrade in terms of its OP stack for interoperability. So this will upgrade the superchain to unify it, leveraging fault proofs, allowing for seamless cross-chain interoperability and messaging. And of course, that will be a beneficiary to Mode L2 and its stack. So just some final thoughts here from myself. Really impressed with what they've built out. And in terms of their foresight, looking at DeFi and AI and this intersection, thinking around how will people actually interact with blockchain in the future? And it's likely to be at this intersection. Now, they do have a few moats in my mind here. The user experience on the front end in terms of the agent app store, the dashboard, etc. It's just so easy to navigate that it feels like a Web 2 application you're stepping into, which of course is going to be very beneficial to new people entering this space. Also with the data layer via the Synth subnet, they can ensure that they have genuinely intelligent agents operating on top of them. And that Synth subnet could obviously spawn into other industries as well. As we mentioned, could be into other commodities, weather, sports, which could spawn many different use cases. So very intrigued to see how the Synth subnet progresses. Then in my mind, DeFi and AI just makes a whole lot of sense in terms of a funnel for user adoption. And it's just kind of around packaging. We know people want DeFi-based yields, but if you can package them and put them into simplified applications, I do believe they will come and use them. Mode also has a whole host of different partners. You'll see that across their socials. They're really into growing the pie in terms of just marketing and also from a tech standpoint as well, sharing and collaborating with others. And I think in terms of the OP superchain in 2025, it will have an opportunity to do something special with its cross-chain interoperability and hopefully grow the pie even more, which should be beneficial to Mode Network. And just that infographic at the bottom, their partnership with EOLast there on creator bids, another interesting one, but I really just like the waifu in there. So overall, I think this one is very bullish going forwards. Interested to see how this intersection of DeFi and AI pans out. If they can come out with some killer products and use cases here, people will come flooding back. Hope you enjoyed this one. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.